this has not been done before almost sounds too good to be true.
This presents an opportunity for the world to crack the opioid issue.
This actually would be something that might be considered as a Nobel Prize in medicine.
I like to think of us largely as an aquaculture institute, but I guess an aquaculture institute that goes beyond just growing seafood and species that live in the water. We have all the bells and whistles, so we can understand the composition of the things that we grow in the sea, from the good things, the bad things.
Cawthron is an independent science institute based in Nelson.
We face numerous challenges out there: climate change and biodiversity loss and food security going forward. And from a science perspective, we've got the solutions at our fingertips. It is a matter of actually coming together and making sure that we impactfully implement these, then also find the necessary financing to do that.
One of the challenges that Cawthron is addressing is anaesthetic, pain medication.
We hold a very significant microalgal culture collection at Cawthron, possibly one of the largest in the world. We have 700 different strains of microalgae at the moment.
Our knowledge around microalgae, for example, that we've been working on for various decades now, at least 3 decades, understanding the toxins they produce, how they impact on seafood safety, and we've been able to derive a certain toxin to such purity that has been advanced, and an anesthetic can now be a long-lasting pain relief, can be produced from that. We've done phase 1 trials with that, what we call neosaxitoxin, in collaboration with Harvard Medical School and the Boston Children's Hospital. Phase 1 trials were incredibly successful.
That particular toxin is known for sort of potence of biological properties as well. Is there any sort of risk of misuse with that?
I guess that is the intention of the clinical trials that are undertaken, to verify the safety of the compound, and the phase 1 clinical trials are extremely positive that it's a highly effective local anaesthetic, and phase 2 and phase 3 would verify that. It's all about the dose, so at very small doses it's beneficial, at very high doses it can be lethal.
One also has to highlight that it's not just longer lasting than traditional anesthetics, it's also opioid free, which is a big thing in anesthetics. We find it very difficult to attract funding for phase 2. Mainly because we have to deal with international pharma, and the question is always, to what degree does New Zealand actually support your endeavours here? And at the moment that is not happening. I think possibly because this is a very new environment, but there is this element of us having the IP for that extraction. Others have tried it and always failed. There's a synthetic step included as well that we've been able to identify and perfect. So this is a wonderful opportunity really for New Zealand to create big value. The amazing thing is that global demand is estimated to probably only be about 1 kilo of this powder. That's how potent it is. And every gram sells for possibly $1 million. So that's $1 billion industry right there. But it does take a bit of an investment to get there. But that is all within the realm of possibilities. It's not something that is far-fetched. It would be wonderful to bring that to life, to also highlight that aquaculture is actually possible of creating very different value well beyond just harvesting fish or mussels out there in the ocean.
Cawthron estimates that phase 2 trials would cost between $30 million and $40 million.
Is it disheartening for your future research when something like this hasn't been taken on board by the relevant parties?
Well, it is certainly frustrating to understand that there is a solution at our fingertips, and it is so difficult to get the necessary funding to take this further. And one also has to take into account it is usually not in the remit of a science institute to go out there and seek massive funding to bring something to life. You would usually have an interested industry partner who approaches you and says, I have an idea. So this is a bit the other way around here.
While Cawthron would prefer to partner with a domestic investor, it may have to consider looking overseas.
We are already looking internationally, but that's where we face those questions of, but why don't you fund that yourself? This is such a wonderful opportunity. And we are also a little hesitant to just give this away to an international partner and with that lose the opportunity for New Zealand. And while everybody agrees that this is a fantastic opportunity, I think the reluctance is probably based on the fact that this has not been done before. Almost sounds too good to be true. We are making progress with one international party at the moment that appears to be very interested in actually taking this forward. But I'm still trying to somehow convince local industry and government to actually support this from a New Zealand perspective.
So your preference would be to partner with New Zealand?
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah.
Is this a real potential letdown, I guess, if they don't decide to come on board?
I think it would be an opportunity missed. I think it would be, I guess philosophically this presents an opportunity for the world to crack the opioid issue. So from my perspective, it would be a sad opportunity missed. Yeah.
This is not about extracting or exploiting our environment. This is actually having microalgae in a bioreactor producing a toxin and then deriving tremendous value from that without any impact on the environment whatsoever. That does indeed sound too good to be true, and that would be a huge opportunity missed. Ex-colleague of mine had indicated that this actually would be something that might be considered as a Nobel Prize in medicine if this came to life. This is how we also communicated with parties, but it is also quite interesting to see how Big Pharma focuses on the bottom line and less on what are the other benefits that are actually associated with this product. And it's easier to use and adapt existing products in new compilations, etc., instead of embarking on something that is completely new and obviously poses that risk that in the end it may have an issue when it then doesn't make it through phase 2 trials. That risk is obviously also there. But after what we've heard, what our colleagues at Boston Children's Hospital are saying that have been very involved here, I doubt that risk is too high, but I would hope that at some stage we actually get somebody on board that feels this is indeed an opportunity of a lifetime.